The Modi government appears to have been singed somewhat by all the goings-on recently with the Ghar Wapsi campaign. Has there been an impact on the government's own image? Well, whether that is true or not, the fact is the government has decided to actually respond. It is going out all out to actually reach out to the minority community. On the one hand, it's sending a senior minister across the country to meet with people from the Muslim community, and on the other is a big advertising blitz. The question is, does the government think this is par for the course, or is it responding to the image impact of the Ghar Wapsi stories?
Cornered by Ghar Wapsi campaign by the saffron fringe and the conversion row that's still simmering, Modi government is planning an image makeover. The government has planned to reach out to the minorities, and for that it has also roped in superstar Amitabh Bachchan. Minority Affairs Minister Mukhtar Abbas Naqvi is set to tour areas that have a high minority population. From 3rd January onwards, Naqvi will be on a 3-state tour where he will visit the homes of minorities in Kerala, Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh. The Minority Affairs Minister has already met state minority ministers of Rajasthan and Karnataka and has spoken to some others on the phone. He is also set to meet with minority ministers of other states including West Bengal, Bihar, Madhya Pradesh, Telangana, Maharashtra and Assam.
हम इसमें खुद लोगों के बीच जाएंगे, लोगों तक जो है हम पहुंचेंगे, गांव-गांव तक पहुंचेंगे। उन क्षेत्रों में अभी हमने 100 जिले आइडेंटिफाई किए हैं, जिन जिलों में कि हम जाएंगे, खुद जाएंगे और जा करके राज्य सरकारों से भी हमने अनुरोध किया है, कई राज्य सरकारों से चर्चा हो चुकी है।
Amitabh Bachchan too will be part of the government's minority outreach. He will be part of an ad film that stresses the need to rise above religion and caste for inclusive development. The film is the brainchild of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who personally called up Bachchan. But the government's minority push has not cut ice with the opposition.
Recent controversies involving senior leaders and ministers like Sadhvi Niranjan Jyoti, Sakshi Maharaj and Yogi Adityanath over conversion have embarrassed the Modi government. The government is aware of the fact that these Hindu fringe outfits have the capacity to drown the assiduously built development plan. But the government outreach program has itself become a cause for further controversy. With camera person Ankur Arora, Brijesh Pandey for Headlines Today.
And joining me on the debate tonight on To The Point, I'm joined by Sanjay Jha of the Congress Party and Jai Narayan Vyas, member and senior leader of the BJP. Sanjay Jha, if I could come to you first, you've got the BJP dispatching a senior leader to take a tour across states, meet with members from the Muslim community, engage with them, speak with them. On the other hand, you've got this high-profile advertising blitz that's been announced as well, calling for people to rise above religion and caste and things like that. What principally, and I'm not asking this rhetorically, what principally is your complaint or your problem with either of these two actions?
Shiv, you had the whole winter session of the Raj Sabha being disrupted because the opposition had a very rightful demand. The issue of a rate card for conversions, and add to that, the statements made by several other, leaders from the Bharatiya Janata Party, not just the, the right-wing extreme elements, but people like Yogi Adityanath, Sakshi Maharaj, Sadhvi Jyoti, who are part of the Bharatiya Janata Party, mainstream political party represented in parliament. All of them making statements, actually imbued with acerbic hate for the minorities.
Okay.
We had a right to ask that question. The Prime Minister maintains a deafening silence. Now we are being told that Mr. Amitabh Bachchan, legendary actor, and I have the highest respect for his histrionic abilities, Mr. Amitabh Bachchan is the card to solve India's secularism challenge because he will broadcast in an advertisement campaign funded with your money, Shiv, and my money, and the common taxpayers who are watching this program.
Okay.
With their entire funding, there will be a campaign to create a secular ideology in India. I mean, you can't get more bizarre and outrageous and, you know, ridiculous than that.
Okay.
I mean, the Prime Minister chooses to remain silent. Then he wants to use public funds to create an advertising campaign using a legendary performer to send out the message of communal harmony. I mean, that's a joke. Honestly, it's a joke before the year is over.
Okay, let me get a response from Jainara Vyas. Jainara Vyas, it's a three-pronged problem that the opposition has. A, they say it's a sham. B, they say that, you know, it doesn't come from the heart. And C, they say that the government is feeling, you know, singed, burned by, you know, the opposition's rightful attack as far as the Ghar Wapsi issue is concerned. And this is the BJP-led government, the Modi Sarkar, displaying its desperation by spending a lot of public money, engaging a superstar like Amitabh Bachchan and trying to display and buy some secular time. Jainara Vyas.
Let me at the outset assure my friend Sanjay that neither this government is in any kind of a frustration, nor they are afraid because opposition is doing their role. It's not the case. It is also not the case that the governments are advertising for the first time. There are full-page advertisements of the state governments talking about their schemes and the welfare measures they are taking. So government is fully within its own right to talk about the welfare measures and the schemes that the government will be implementing as far as the minorities are concerned. So I don't understand why they are so much scared and why they are so much afraid of their vote bank, with whatever little it is left out. You know, Congress, I can understand their problem. They even in a shadow they are seeing the devil, because they are seeing whatever little vote bank is left out now, which at least makes their presence in the parliament might also get migrated. That is where the problem lies. So I think Congress should really diagnose what is the problem rather than try to justify something else.
Sanjay, the response from the BJP is that the Congress is feeling a little nervous, about this outreach, that it appears to sort of maybe take over a part that the Congress has been used to, and the BJP is basically saying it's a little rich for the Congress to be shouting minority appeasement.
Well, I would like to request my friend Jai Narayanji here, whom I have a lot of personal respect for, to kind of just go back and ask himself one fundamental question. There was a parliamentary gridlock. Your government has been forced, and it is doing ordinances, which by itself is another extra constitutional action being done by them, because we don't see any emergency.
But staying on this
all
issue,
because India's Prime Minister, who has, by the way, a very checkered and controversial track record in terms of his own communal past, refuses to make a single statement despite being in parliament. And then you are trying to do this huge campaign before the Delhi elections using the Republic Day as a ruse. I mean, it raises very, very serious questions, not just to the funds being spent, but about political morality and ethics. And my second point, Shiv, there has been an incident, by the way, in Surat, where in the Gujarat government, the police is using minority people wearing skull caps. They're actually making people look like terrorists wearing skull caps. I mean, what kind of extreme religious conduct are you seeing from Mr. Modi's government?
Okay, yeah, well, the Surat police, I'm not sure that applies to Narendra Modi, but we'll get to that point. I want to tell you that we played that story right now as part of what we're bringing to you before this debate right now. Jainara and Vyas, Sanjay Jha's point is the Ghar Wapsi campaign was a central issue that faced Parliament all through last week. You can either look at it as, a destructive disruption of Parliament, or a central issue, which is what the opposition sees it as, that still hasn't been addressed by the government. So the Congress and other opposition parties, Mr. Vyas, say that the Prime Minister has conveniently, sidestepped addressing the Ghar Wapsi issue directly. He's, ignored the opportunity to send out a message, send out a signal over, an issue over the fringe. But what he's doing is trying to score brownie points and send out a message through these easy ways, by dispatching, a Muslim minister to meet with Muslims across the country, and by spending big bucks on a publicity campaign, which is the easy way out.
No, let me reply the second question first because it is easy to reply.
Yes.
I think the incident about Surat, which Sanjay ji is quoting, is purely an administrative goof-up on the part of the police. Nobody in the right sense of mind would ever endorse this kind of an incident.
Yes.
Even our Prime Minister has said earlier that Muslims are no lesser patriots than any other religious faith observing person. So I don't think there is any dispute on that. We are very clear about it. Regarding the first part, I am confused. I am confused because I am not able to understand what is the real problem. Is the real problem continuing the deadlock in the parliament, or is the real problem the ordinances which are issued? I think both are temporary problems and temporary measures. No ordinance can ever substitute the parliamentary process, and no parliamentary process can ever be
What about the Prime Minister? What about the Prime Minister himself and his, whether or not he should have said something about the entire issue? That's what Sanjay Jha was saying.
Well, let me tell you that why they are so much keen about the Prime Minister. You know, the parliamentary procedures which I have learned and the kind of parliamentary process that I have been part of says that every minister in the cabinet is singly and jointly responsible for each member of the cabinet. So if Mr. Venkaiah Naidu makes a statement, or if Mr. Jaitley makes a statement, it is equally abiding to Mr. Narendra Modi. He can't escape saying that no, I have not said it. It was Mr. Jaitley. He is his minister.
No, but the Congress says that's
convenient. Fully abiding him.
The Congress says that's convenient because the Prime Minister speaks on virtually every issue otherwise, both online and offline. Okay, I wanna just turn this on its head. Sanjay, I have a specific question, if I just may. Just a specific question, just to turn this a little bit on its head. Let's take this at face value just for a moment. Look at what's happening just as it is, outside the context. I know it's not right to look at things outside their context, but sending someone like Mukhtar Abbas Naqvi, senior leader of the BJP, to engage with Muslims across the country, to send out, to use a high value, superstar like Amitabh Bachchan to send out some kind of a message. Taken at face value, what's the problem with that? I mean, the BJP can turn around and say, damned if we do, damned if we don't. We send out a healthy, good message to minorities. We're still going to be criticized for it.
No, Shiv, I mean, I'll agree with you. The BJP is free and independent to do what it wants to do in terms of his party strategy. But people of this country are not fools. I mean, the questions that all of us know is how many Muslim MPs are there in the Bharatiya Janata Party? How many tickets do they give to people who fight elections from Uttar Pradesh or Gujarat or any part of India? Mr. Modi's state government, when he was chief minister, actually went against the Sachar committee recommendations and went to Supreme Court. So, their intentions are extremely obvious. You can try, they can send Mr. Mukhtar Abbas to wherever they want to send him to. But, end of day, there are fundamental challenges that this country is today facing. Minorities, 150 million people of India cannot be treated like second-rate citizens with the RSS chief coming in every day and talking about a Hindu Rashtra and everyone trying to create a fear psychosis in the minds of minorities in India. So these are nothing but cosmetic and synthetic gestures. And I believe it's a serious issue because if India has to really prosper, grow and become a vibrant country economically, socially, politically, you can't have a disturbed social atmosphere. I think this government is on a suicidal mission because, you can't talk in folk terms and believe that India's young and people who watch television programs can be taken for a ride just on your effective sound bites.
Fully cosmetic, nothing substantive in what the government is doing at this point of time. General and Vyas, I wanted, give me an answer apart from what is the Congress nervous about. Their accusation is that this is all cosmetic. There's nothing substantial in what is going on right now.
I mean, they are fully entitled to have their own beliefs and prejudices. I have nothing to say against that. I only would request my friend Sanjay ji to answer me or enlighten me on two things. Number one, please let me know the names of members of parliaments from the minority community from Gujarat except Mr. Ahmed Patel. Number two, when we fielded the candidate who was a minority candidate for the post of a president, where this love and affection for minority was fading away. So I think let us not talk this. Every party does it as per the strategic convenience, and you also are aware that
Mr.
you have
Mr.
not
Vyas,
also fielded
Mr.
a
Vyas,
single
let me answer
Muslim
you.
candidate.
Sanjay,
Yeah.
Sanjay, you respond to that, and then I have a specific question for you.
Let him give me one name of a
Can I answer him?
minority MP from
Yeah.
Gujarat.
Yeah. You know, Mr. Vyas, I'll give you just one example. You don't know, 1 minute. We lost the elections. We won not a single seat from Gujarat. But let me give you one simple example, Mr. Vyas. Out of 400 odd seats in Uttar Pradesh, which has, by the way, 20% of India's Muslim population, you did not field more than one candidate. Can you imagine? 20% of UP, and you did minorities in Uttar Pradesh, and you fielded one Muslim candidate from Uttar Pradesh. I don't think I need to say anything more.
No,
and
we
Shiv,
can-
let me
you know,
tell you,
the-
Mr. Bachchan is an extraordinary actor.
The thing
but
about
Mr.
this
Modi
debate-
is perhaps an even better
If I
actor.
may just come
I
in
believe
for a
he's going to
moment.
feature in that television commercial, and I think, you know, end of day, this is going to be another spin, another film, another promotional publicity
You know,
gimmick.
I had a fear that this debate was going to dwindle down into a, you know, who appeases minorities
I
more,
think
you know, who's
Sanjay
given more
ji-
chance to minorities in the elections. But Sanjay Jha, I have a specific question for you. You know, in terms of symbolism, in terms of depth or lack of depth, in terms of shallow, you know, shallow acts, shallow pretenses that politicians make, you know, I think, you know, without being too cynical here, both of you are politicians, I'm a journalist. I think we can all agree that symbolism is par for the course. You know, things that are cosmetic, things that appear to send out a message
Very right.
either to communities or people, are things that all parties, you know, indulge in, engage in, spend, you know, crores of rupees doing every single year. I mean, what's the big deal about the BJP engaging Amitabh Bachchan to send out, you know, let's face it, a positive message? I'm only playing devil's advocate and asking you that, Sanjay.
No, I agree with you. I mean, film actors, because they are, you know, popular and they have a, you know, their own charisma, their own credibility, like Amir Khan, Shah Rukh, you know, Amitabh Bachchan, they're all very popular and, you know, very credible people. I think they carry a weight. But, you know, when you're in politics, each and every 125 crore person of India is your audience. You don't distinguish them by, you know, the caste or the religion. And therefore, it is important, because politics, you are voted to run the country. I mean, your safety, my security, you know, the borders, everything is in the hands of Mr. Modi and his government today. Then in politics, you can't treat it as just another feel-good act. It's not just about the flavor, you know, 31 of the season. I mean, you have to translate that symbolism into performance.
It has to have a
on the ground.
foundation, you're saying.
Assurance has to be backed by action, you know, a promise by a performance. And I think Mr. Modi is completely disconnected. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, we're almost completely out of time. I just want to, ask.
Can I reply?
Yes. Please go ahead, Mr. Vyas.
Number one. That one Muslim, see, this is where Congress's doublespeak is exposed. One Muslim candidate that is being talked about, or one minority candidate which is being talked about during the parliament election, that seat, the day it was given, it was taken as a lost seat. There was no chance of the candidate even offering a token fight.
Okay, let's go beyond the seats now.
For the sake of tokenism.
I know, Mr. Vyas, I know that we were talking about seats.
I never thought, Sanjay ji, I never thought that you will be so ungrateful to Amitabh Bachchan, who helped you dislodging Hemant.
I know, this is not a fight about Amitabh Bachchan. No, Mr. Vyas, I understand your need to respond to Sanjay Jha on that point. I appreciate that. The point is taken. The point is taken.
We have a lot of respect for Mr. Bachchan.
Let me just lighten things up just a little bit.
As a professional.
Let me lighten things up just a little bit, because we've got a few minutes left, Sanjay and Mr. Vyas. So let me lighten up things just a little bit. In this new advertising blitz that's going to happen, Mr. Vyas, we know that Amitabh Bachchan is going to be in it. Are we likely to see the Prime Minister also in those ads, or is it going to be, focused just on Amitabh Bachchan?
Well, the strategy would be worked out by the communicating agency. We are in the era of the utmost sophisticated art of communication. And let me also tell you that maybe we are trying to inflate whatever we are going to do. I have learned as a student of advertisement that if you want to finish bad product, early advertise it. I think the kind of risk that we would be taking would be tremendous. So
No, but don't you think it would be a good idea to put the Prime Minister in an advertisement of this kind?
See, they have used Prime Minister in a press advertisement. Since our Prime Minister can speak, maybe we will be able to
Shiv,
use
can I
him
make
also.
one quick point?
Yes. Yes, Sanjay, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm a little concerned in a lighter vein. I'm very concerned about Mr. Amitabh Bachchan. I think one of the greatest actors we've ever seen, because he might be overshadowed by another better actor in Mr. Narendra Modi. So I think, I'm excited. We are waiting to see this commercial. But I can tell you, end of day, bottom line, at the ground level, India has got a huge crisis to face.
Yeah,
and none
I
of
can't
this,
come in between
none
the
of
both
this
of you
marketing
because the both
spiel
of
is
you
gonna make
appear
any
to be
difference.
friends. Yeah, Mr. Vyas?
I think he is more concerned about the minority vote bank, whatever.
No, I think Mr. Vyas is one of the moderate, very likable people in the BJP.
No, but Mr. Vyas, I mean, I'm seriously, the thing is, advertising, public relations has been, such an assault on the public. And I used the word assault purely technically, not in a negative way. Right through 2014, we're sitting here discussing this with both you, wonderful gentlemen, on the last day of 2014. What a year it's been. If there's one thing that we've seen so much of this year, it's been advertising, public relations, a relentless assault of faces. Sanjay Jha will call Modi an actor. You can call him whatever else you want. But at the end of the day, if this Amitabh Bachchan, PR campaign to reach out, asking people to rise above religion, is presumably the Prime Minister's own brainchild, there will be expectations from, his fans, from people around the country, people who voted for the BJP, even people who didn't, that, the Prime Minister will have a more direct presence in that campaign, especially since he didn't say anything in Parliament, Mr. Vyas.
Well, it depends upon the strategy at the outset. But in Parliament also he is present. It is not that he is not present. His entire cabinet is present. What are we trying to say that he is not present in the Parliament? And before I conclude, I mean, let me use this 30-second slot to wish you and Sanjay both a very, very pleasant New Year and the year full of all joys and achievements.
20 seconds, Sanjay, final word.
And to you, Mr. Vyas. And to Shiv.
Thank you.
Well, I reciprocate the warm sentiments of my BJP counterpart, Mr. Vyas, which I will tell you, I think he's a decent, very, very decent gentleman. But I want to tell you one point, Shiv. I think India enters 2015 with, I think, a bag full of worries and trepidation as well. Because we've seen a very strange communal kind of stress happening in our society. And it's important for the Prime Minister. We wish him the very best, but he needs to really recognize that he's the Prime Minister today of 125 crore people. And you can't ignore 150 million people of India, because I think the responsibility of any civil democratic government is to protect the life of its minorities, make them feel safe, and make them partners in India's growth and prosperity. That's all I want to say.
I think that's a positive, unpolitical and bipartisan note to actually end 2014 on. It's my last debate for 2014. There will be many more in 2015. Jainaran Vyas, Sanjay Jha, thank you very much for joining me this evening. I know it's New Year's Eve, but wish you the very best for 2015 and also to all our viewers. That's a wrap here on To The Point. Thanks very much for joining us. The news continues on the other side with News Today at 9 with Gaurav Sawant on the other side of this very short break. Stay tuned.